Hello, I'm John, the executive producer here at Final Show Films. I got a few notes for you before the show. First, I want to thank you all for watching. We couldn't do what we do or the amount of things that we do without the support of you, the viewer. If you want to support us financially, which we always appreciate, you can go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms, where you can donate as little as $1 a month to help us continue this and all the things that we do. I want to give a special shout out to our $25 supporters, Antitonic, Waterflame, and Samantha Bates. Second, I want to let you all know that we here at Final Show Films are planning a little get-together up at Gen Con this year. That's August 2nd through 5th up at Indianapolis. We're going to be up there just sort of hanging out, enjoying the con, spending time together, and if any of you guys want to come up and say hi, please feel free. We don't bite unless you want us to. And if you enjoy whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to, be sure to check out our website at finalshowfilms.com, where you can find links to all of our other content, both podcast and video. And be sure to follow me at John A. Bates on Twitter for more updates on all of the content we're creating in the future. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Breakverse. As Aaron pulls up the wrong notes, that's last week's. Okay. Now, I'm Aaron, your GM. Just quick announcement as we start. This is our second week streaming this particular game live on Twitch. Yeah.
Woo!
So, bear with any technical hiccup, things that don't work as we get this all sorted out. If you're joining us live and you're curious about the adventures that this party has had that have gotten them to this point, that's all archived on iTunes, the other places that Final Show Films puts the podcast. And if you're listening over podcast and want to see us live, we're here 3 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesdays. And the videos are uploaded to our YouTube channel, if that is of interest to you. Now, last time on Breakverse, our pile of cats found themselves at a temple to the goddess responsible for fate and prophecy, Dotrix, with as many of the party receiving revelations of various magnitude. They set off towards the border of Seafolk territory, and where they crossed into the ominous holdings of the Deep Lands. Essentially, alliance of Underdark races that have a sort of capital and embassy in the surface world.
The background noise you hear is Jeremy wildly documenting all of our intro narration.
Yes, yes, that is exactly what I am doing, and not reporting on Mark Henry's Super Bowl prediction. He thinks the Eagles will win, by the way.
Of course he does.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Sports sure exists. Cat.
Wrestlers commenting on sports specifically.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's who that. Cat.
Sure. I am Cat. I am playing Ska, the Wood Elf Barbarian. I am just happy to be here.
Jack.
I am Jack. I play Ragnar Einherjar, the Dwarven Paladin of Conquest, who is very interested in some of the techniques by which certain individuals and cultures tend to protect their borders.
And Jeremy?
I am Jeremy. I am playing Helistra, the Drow Druid, who is not happy to be here because this is home. And home is bad. Home is full of terrible people.
We are missing our... Amnesia seems like an understatement bard this week. Navarin is busy, so Alistar will not be joining us.
He's staying up in the crow's
that
nest.
He wants to be in the crow's nest, and he will stay there.
Yeah.
I was going to say easily distracted.
That too.
He is also easily
That
distracted.
too. As long as he's still in the crow's nest when we get back eventually, and nothing bad happens to him or the ship, I think we'll be okay.
Okay. So, as we open our scene, though it is still day, you crest over increasingly dark waters. You can see some stars and clouds through the you can see some stars through the cloud cover, but not many. It is dark. None of you struggle from it, as you all have dark vision, but you can note the less colors, the dimness. Halistra, particularly, you notice that it does not the kind of low level of constant pain of being outside.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, this is taking you towards not necessarily your home or your family, but the part of the world, the major country within which that resides.
And this is the weekly portion where I apologize to Aaron for making them do the accent that I have established apparently for the drow.
For drow from your area, yes.
Yes.
Not all drow have that accent, oh god. But
Hashtag
Many-
not all drow.
Yes.
I'm the worst. Well,
so,
seems to be a bit on the shadowy side around here.
Yes, it does have some advantages, I suppose.
Well, it's easier to sneak up on somebody. Keep an eye out over your shoulders just in case our friend who was nailed to the rock was more welcoming than the status quo might indicate.
Oh, definitely definitely keep an eye out.
I'd prefer not to be
Watch your
ambushed, especially when we're sailing unfamiliar waters.
I must reiterate, in case I was not clear before, these are the worst people. Worst.
Fair enough,
I
then.
like how I keep looking over here because that's where my my screen is. Hi.
well, roll me perceptions.
Yay. I'm really not good at those. 15.
That's not bad, that's not
Probably the
bad.
best perception I've had in like 3 episodes.
19.
Thank God for high wisdom characters.
Yes. Perception. 10. +8.
That is.
Thank God for high wisdom
Wow.
characters that aren't Jeremy. Love you, dude.
That's fair.
That is almost as bad as you could have been, but it was
Just
not.
about. What off?
Well,
Alistra, you're suspiciously looking into the darkness and looking down into the water because this sucks.
Yep.
Ragnar and Sky, you're taking in your surroundings a little more, and you spot off on another one of these small rocky outcroppings, a distance away from you. Clearly, like, you were far past the tiefling you met previously at this point. But you see a small group that seem to be in some sort of circle holding hands and swirling dark cloudy magic that columns up into the sky
on a rock.
on a rock,
Okay.
nodding your way. They don't seem to acknowledge you directly. None of them seem to turn towards you. You just see this column of increasing darkness that pours up into the sky.
Okay. Well, that's a bit disconcerting.
Mm,
Might be what keeps
What?
the darkness intact during the daylight hours, though.
what is disconcerting?
That group of ritualists over there?
Once it's pointed out, yeah, you can see the column of shadows with the people conducting it.
Par for the course here.
Very good, then. Does the ship still seem like it knows where it's going?
Yeah.
We're just gonna give it its head, then.
Okay.
Keep an eye out and not do any fishing.
Yeah.
All right. The hours pass. The rest of the day elapses. And it comes to be time for probably rest for all of you, if you choose to.
I'm gonna run down to the map room, see if I can see, like, the dot where the ship is, and give myself at least a rough estimate of how much longer we think we're gonna take.
It's gonna be about another day.
Okay. Ella, I'll take first watch. Ska, if you're willing to take the mid, and Talista, if you'll be kind enough to spell Ska once she's finished.
I can do that.
Of course.
Appreciate it. Alright, ladies, get some rest. And he will just patrol up and down the deck. He's not going to be wandering down below. He wants to keep an eye on the perimeter of the vessel.
Fair enough. Yeah. So, keeping an eye on the perimeter, looking around. Just make me a perception.
Oh.
Actually, also roll me a D100.
Okay. Well, that's a 12 for the perception. And a 97.
All right.
Thank God we're not playing Warhammer.
With this game, it's just kind of random.
Yeah.
I'm assuming in Warhammer 97 would be a bad thing.
Yeah, all your ability rolls are based on a D100, and rolling low is good.
Got it.
Rolling a 100 is a crit fail.
Got it.
Okay. So, with a 97, Ragnar, your shift passes uneventfully, and I assume Halustra takes over at some point.
I think I was doing second.
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
He'll wake Ska.
Yeah.
She's gonna take over.
Okay. Ska, what are you doing during your watch?
Probably the same. She'll mostly stay up top. She'll probably do one run of the ship just to make sure, but mostly stay up top.
Okay. As you're just sort of spending your time keeping an eye out, roll me perception.
Okay. That's a 13.
Okay.
You are 5% more awake than I am.
Roll me a religion check.
Oh. All right. That's a 4.
So as you're watching the waters and the other stuff, you just sort of absent-mindedly start fiddling with your little effigy symbol of Anders, whatever would be the word
necklace
Ska would use for it. And you can't quite feel anything, but you're thinking back on that. and feeling it almost pull you in. But in a very apathetic way, some sort of that reminds you of Anders. Like, even as something is tugging at you in a way you can't define or classify with your religion roll, it seems almost indifferent to the process.
Okay.
Make of that what you will. Your watch comes to an end.
All right. I will go get Helistra to relieve my...
Okay.
But she'll probably still, like, stay up on the deck of the ship.
Okay. Sure. Lystra, can you
Yep.
give me perception?
Absolutely.
All right. I have not seen the roll if it's been made.
Yeah, no, there we go. 23.
That's
Now
a good
we're
roll.
talking.
23. You can see the dark. It's dark out. That's pretty damn convenient for you.
Yes.
But you don't see any other ships, nothing under the water that seems overly suspicious.
Okay.
You can't see land, but you do see more of these small, with a 23, you notice that all of them are very sharp coming up out of the water, almost like they were, instead of being natural outcroppings that get broader as they get deeper, just like yanked up as shelves, these small rocky outcroppings. The boat gives them a wide berth and rarely seems to need to turn to avoid them exactly, but crest on until morning.
Mm-hmm.
Ragnar will get up and try his hand at making breakfast.
Cool.
When you go down to the kitchen, you'll notice that Ska has kind of, like, made things in specific spots. So you can see where, like, the breakfast stuff is.
See, you say that. Yeah, he doesn't really catch on to that. He just starts grabbing ingredients at random because they might look good together.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. Why don't you make me a D100 roll?
Okay.
Because that seems like a funny way to do this.
87. I make 87% of a breakfast.
Does Ragnar
You make
poison us
something
all?
that very much visually resembles breakfast.
Uh-oh.
It's got fish, it's got some dried fruit, it has lemon sprinkled on top to avoid the scurvy.
All the important food groups in one handy location.
Yep.
Cool. Then I take a bite of it. What happens?
Roll me a constitution save with advantage.
Yes.
You turn into a chicken.
18.
It's very sour. You probably overdid the lemon.
But
You probably
lemon and
didn't eat
fish
all
go
of a
to-
lemon.
Oh, okay.
It's occurring to you, but it's not awful. It's edible. It counts as nutrition.
Now,
All
did you
right.
make enough for just you or for everyone?
I made enough for everybody.
Okay.
And I put it on plates, which I left in the kitchen, because that's where the food is and you guys will know to find it.
Yes.
Do you let anyone know that you have made food?
Once I walk out, if I see anybody.
Okay.
Got whipped up a bit of a morning meal in the kitchen. Help yourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you. Scott will go down to the kitchen.
Get some. Yep. Eat.
Okay.
Scott will take one bite of it.
Con
And go.
saves.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's see if I like this.
I get advantage on these because I'm a dwarf.
That's a 12.
14.
Both of you go, oh, wow, that is very very lemon. But you can power through. It's just,
I was gonna say,
just surprising.
Scott can probably fix it. Is there a roll that I can make to try to fix it?
Sure.
I would like
In
to
this
roll to
case,
fix the
make me a
breakfast.
nature roll.
All right, that's a 19.
The easiest way to fix it is just to put more food on.
Dilute.
I stick my head out of the door. It's like, DC's abrasive and borderline poison. I did not realize that you would be cooking home cuisine specific to the homeland to which we are going. But thank you.
When in the halberd, make as the halberdians do. I don't know if that's a thing.
I mean, I imagine drow culture just generally poisons their food as a rule, so you build up immunity to it, and thus are less likely to be poisoned by your siblings.
Yep. That is how they know which children are going to be successful. The ones
Yes.
that don't die of the poison when they're little.
Right.
Yes.
Ah.
Meanwhile, the giant population is exploding.
God damn it. Did I do something?
There's just giants all over the halberd.
Oh. Okay. That's what was happening. Got it.
I'm like, oh
I
god.
was like, roll 20.
What's
even if
happening in the
it's
political
where I want
situation
roll
north of
20
the
to bring
wall?
the thing. I found out why.
Ah,
They're the
Yeah.
size of a small city-state. What's going on?
don't worry about it. It's the Night King's just gathering his forces.
Oh,
It's
okay.
fine.
Just
No big
Just
deal.
don't send any dragons up there.
right. Dragons always make things worse.
Well, unless they make things better.
But yeah,
Historically, that has not been the case.
Ragnar will just keep the ship going, keep just running back and forth. Probably, I mean, not running, but making periodic visits to the navigator's cabin to see what our relative progress is every hour or so.
All right. Yeah. You're keeping an eye on that. And want to keep him to the top deck, or
Oh.
Yeah, Scott will probably find a little spot on the top deck to just kind of look out and contemplate everything ever.
Yeah, Helistra is, since we are somewhere that is not painful for her to be outside of the cargo hold,
got it.
is taking that advantage also so that way she can see anything that's coming, because look where we're headed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not unfair. So Scott and Helistra, make me just general perception checks.
16.
24.
Nice.
With a 16, Sky, you're just watching out of the. Everything seems to be going pretty much fine. Helistra, you're sort of watching the patterns, especially underwater, because underwater sometimes heads underground, and underground is where most of the people actually live.
Right.
And as you are watching, you see like just some slight burbling columns in the water that put you on edge, and you're like, there's something down there.
It's dolphins.
It is not dolphins.
No, it's
Hyper-intelligent
never
murder
dolphins.
dolphins?
It's narwhals.
It is.
Yeah.
No.
But you all
It is
press
something
up.
we should not investigate. Because we will die.
Let's just ignore it completely.
Ragnar sort of like with his one hand on the railing and already grabbing for the battle axe. Okay, kind of slumps his shoulders, steps back.
Yep.
I was gonna fight the fucking ocean!
That seems like a losing
Good
battle.
job,
There's a lot.
Paladin of the Ocean, holding up your oath.
There is a lot to hit, and you do not do much damage to it when you hit it, because it is not a solid thing. This is
Interesting
one
you
of
should
those.
bring that up. If we're ever fighting some oozes, if either of you pulls out a sword, I'm gonna kill you first.
Why would I?
What's a ooze?
We have some talking to do later.
All right. So after
Why
our
would I ever use use a sword to fight an ooze?
After a few more hours of this kind of conversation, Ragnar, you finally find that you are approaching the mainland. You can see a port on the maps that monitor the closer to you areas.
Mhm.
Little ways off. Those of you on deck can also see just vaguely off in the distance the peaks of hills and a larger slice of land.
Ragnar goes down, puts one finger on the map, puts a second finger on the map, and goes like this. No.
Open. Zoom in. Zoom in.
Zoom in. Zoom in. No.
Yep.
He when he sees that, he'll go back up on deck and march down to the bow of the ship, and just kind of try and keep an eye out for any sort of buoys or marked sea lanes to sort of indicate which direction vessels are supposed to approach.
Okay.
Because he wants to make a good impression, and driving the wrong way on a one-way street usually is a bad impression.
Make me an intelligence check with your water vehicles
Oh
skill.
dear God. That's a 19.
You can see some basic monitoring, like there's some very basic, just like essentially colorful logs
Mm-hmm.
indicating like in lane, out lane.
Cool.
And again, you've also noticed over time that the rocky outcroppings seem to be more columns than would be expected. There is one that you actually probably, with a 19, see a boat go by, stop there to talk with the person this person is just standing there in what seem to be fairly formal robes.
Okay. And when you say columns, are these like Giant's Causeway columns, like the hexagonal pillars?
No,
like the
these are
basalt?
columns of rock, like you would see near a beach, except for without with more column shaped. They don't have the level of spread out under the water that you would expect from a naturally occurring rocky outcropping.
Okay.
Which is, I guess, a maybe because I didn't know the thing you were referencing.
That's okay. Yep. All right. So yeah, he'll just sail it in as casually and non-white knuckly as possible.
Yep.
This is usually my brother's job.
Does this mean that you are not good at it?
Not as good as he is.
Yes, but that is not necessarily bad. I don't. On a level of, like...
I'm competent. He's accomplished.
Very well. Do not kill us.
That is the plan.
All right. Ragnar, you go up to talk to the person?
Yep.
Okay. He, in a language you don't understand, of course, today's.
Just looking at him, is he elf? Is he a drow? What is he? Or them?
You're not exactly sure. This person's skin seems to be made of a combination of rock and maybe a bit of plant with something molten coming out as well. Your first instinct is Ganassi,
awesome.
but that seems off for...
Like multi-elemental.
I'll just address him in Elvish, then go out on a limb. Ragnar Einherjar, captain of the Dead Man's Revenge, seeking an audience with the Deeplands Embassy for matters that concern both ourselves personally and the material plane as a whole.
Dead Man's Revenge came through Rever's Gate. Got it. This part you understand has been transitioned to Elven.
Okay.
And he'll dock 30 over down that way. Park. We're not responsible for any valuables left on your ship, or any individuals left on your ship.
And Alistair was never
Seen again.
Very well. And we will make our way down to Slip 30 and dock the Revenge there.
Okay. You head down these... Again, the docks are actually made of rock outcroppings, which is a little nerve-wracking at first because you don't want to get the bottom of your boat cut open by rocks, but it does seem that this is some sort of magically dragged out of the ocean rock formation.
Which is a dwarf I kind of appreciate. The aesthetic, but not... I'm still a little iffy on the practicality.
Yep.
Well, this is a rather
But you dock
interesting
the
layout.
ship and disembark. Immediately you can see you're all used to ports to some extent or another. It's sort of inevitable when you're living even vaguely in Seafolk land that you end up in ports or inland cities that just behave as though they are ports very adamantly. But this is a very different kind of port than any of you have been to. Halustra, you've never been here, so...
Right.
You as well. In addition to it being constantly dark, it is crowded. There is almost a throng of people that's like... analogy. There is a throng of people that's so dense it is challenging to get through, like the mall on a weekend, but incredibly ominous. Almost everyone seems at least some level of armed, and any language you can hear Halustra would recognize as Undercommon and Do any of you speak Primordial?
Let me check and see, because I got some. No.
Halistra, you would recognize Undercommon and also probably Primordial, though you don't understand any of it.
Right.
Ska and Ragnar, two languages that you don't understand.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Hallista, this is your hometown, I suppose. So, if you'd like to lead the way, and
not exactly. This is I was not from the here specifically, but no, that is all I have to say at the moment.
All right then. Well, walk like you know what you're doing then, and he will just.
I mean, I
push
kind
off
of know
into
what I know what I'm doing. I don't know where anything is here. And then she does one of her ridiculously unconvincing smiles. Like this is what a normal person is supposed to do to be reassuring.
All right.
All right. Well, don't look like you're lost. They can smell that generally. And
they will destroy you. I mean that literally.
Fair enough. All right. And he will pick a random uphill direction and just start walking off like he knows exactly where he's going.
Roll me. Guess anyone who's trying to pull off knowing what they're doing, roll me deception?
Sweet!
22!
I am so excited to fail hard.
19.
14 with a -2.
Nicely done.
Not bad, not bad.
I mean, they are my peeps.
Alistra, it is a little easier for you because, well, it's not necessarily easy for you to pull off being from the capital. You can pull off being from the Underdark more broadly.
Right.
From one of the Deeplands countries. Which is because you are. But Ragnar and Ska, you punch things for a living. That is universal.
Yes, it is.
So you just sort of take off in a direction, almost getting lost in the throng of the crowd, but you're all able to keep track of each other.
Oh, good.
And
luckily, I have a good memory for knowing where we are.
In the wilderness, yeah.
It doesn't say anything about wilderness.
Anyway, Ragnar is looking for anything that says embassy or visitor
anything
center.
That's in common or says foreigners here.
Tourism
Yeah,
Bureau.
I'm looking. That's what I'm keeping an eye on because I know I'm the only person who can probably read anything down here or hear things. Well, not hear things, but understand what's being said. You're all deaf while you're down here. I'm keeping an eye out for. Yeah, I am the translator /
Yep. All right.
Probably
I'm going to say those are going to be perception checks. Ragnar and Sky, you have disadvantage because, as previously mentioned, nothing is... You have no mini-map right now.
That's a 6.
Which one was it? Perception?
22.
Yep.
Perception at disadvantage. That's a 9.
Ragnar, you
Waste of a
almost
good
get
crit.
lost. Sky, you spend most of your attention making sure Ragnar doesn't get lost. Halistra, after a little while where you're all walking, you do find one sign that says that while it is not in common, does sort of indicate like a government embassy services, tourism, that sort of thing.
Okay. Which way does it, like a sign on a building or okay?
On one of these buildings. Most of the buildings here are dark stone. This one particularly has the sort of grand architecture that many countries use to look like they're important.
Right. Okay. He just points. That is where we need to go.
Ah, splendid. Now, Halister, you said you are not from here, locally speaking, that is.
Yes.
Do you know the names of any individuals of authority or influence? Anyone in the accepted governmental or cultural structure?
So you see how I'm looking at my camera now? Imagine I'm looking at the DM.
No, I know. I was gonna say that's a history check.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. She just looks right at you and like.
Would name like the head of the family you were always affiliated with, but that's not necessarily relevant.
From my perspective, based on what I know of sort of the stuff that we've found, if Ragnar had to guess, would he say that this is something that should be approached from a civic or religious angle?
Roll me an intelligence. You have if you have any intelligence proficiencies, roll me one of those.
I have a nature.
Sure.
15.
Just gonna go with that. So with a 15, most of the people that seem informed on this subject have been religion oriented. While you did inform someone associated with the local crime syndicate about it, everyone who's had information or been impacted so far was religious. Most people are religious in settings with actual gods. Was religiously affiliated. Whether that means Ragnar is more or less inclined to go to religiously affiliated people is up to you. But,
I mean, yeah, no, he probably honestly would be.
Okay.
But Halister said we're going to this building first, so he trusts her as much as possible on this, so he will sort of stride up to the door and see if it opens, or if it's more of a knock on it sort of door.
Yeah, so you stride up to the door and you press it and your hand just goes through.
He'll put the rest of himself through it then, too.
Yep. You walk through the door.
Okay.
Much easier to make portals that are shaped like doors made of really heavy stone than it is to make actual doors out of that really heavy marble stone.
And then you don't have to move shit.
Yep.
I am keeping close following.
Same.
So as you enter into the interior of this facility, it's the same dark marbles and black concrete-ish, medieval concrete. Beneath you. There is a little more illumination here. Not that any of you have dark vision, but there's dim lighting from sort of floating orbs, almost like a continuous version of a dancing light spell, that various colored orbs sort of rotating around each other in some pattern as a central chandelier. Within, there's a desk towards the back of this room. There's also a few almost stands, smaller reception desks dotting the room, and some benches, as well as a giant fireplace, because you have to have one.
Oh, yeah.
That sort of takes up, giant fireplace that takes up most of the center of the room. You actually, Ragnar and Scott, you can both actually read one of the signs on the sort of side desks, which is in common and a few other languages. All of you have multiple languages you can read. It's basically just in as many languages as possible, the same word repeated over and over. Translations.
Okay.
You can make an educated guess that the other words there are probably also translations. Scott, the elven word looks close enough that you're guessing that's right.
Okay.
Given the pattern established by the other words.
Okay.
He'll step on up to that one then, because except for Helistra and Sky, he hasn't heard a damn word he understands since he got off the Revenge.
Yep. Sitting at the desk is a pretty young-looking drow man. He'll sort of look up to you. Start in a language you don't understand. Quickly read that you don't understand it.
Is it undercommon?
Yeah.
She will cut him off 2 words in common. They do not understand.
Of course. That is why we are here, to provide a service for pay. And by the Lady Hearth, we cast the spell of words, and you can understand the words spoken by the others.
It's very
100 gold for casting.
And that'll last for how long?
How long does comprehend language?
Isn't it usually just
Or
an hour?
tongues?
Tongues is the correct spell.
That one I don't know off the top of my head at all.
It's like an hour, maybe longer.
100 gold is a
Once
lot.
roll 20 starts working. It's an hour. So
Yep.
an hour for casting. We can also provide amulets more expensive.
And the amulets, are they available for rental, purchase?
Rental for days, purchase for permanent.
Be interested to hear your pricing for those.
To get the amulet permanently is powerful item, is fancy spell. It costs 550 gold to buy. Is 200 to rent amulet for a day.
If you don't want to deal with all of this overpriced bullshit, I can just tell you what everybody says.
I think we'll go for
But
that.
why would they trust you?
Why would they trust you or any spell that you cast?
Because the spells of a cleric cannot be easily concealed.
Easily, but can be.
Not with the deity I follow. You would need someone tricksy. You would need to go to the wings.
Fascinating, though, this discussion on ethics and the various capabilities of certain divinities and holy powers.
Thank you for cutting into that, because I was going to be like, but how do we know you're actually following? You're following. You could be lying.
Let's get out of that loop
It's just
before it
going
becomes
nowhere,
recursive.
I believe we will rely on our companion for the immediate interim. Should we be in need of something a bit more long-term, though, I may be interested in coming back to speak with you about purchase of one of those amulets.
He will back in undercom and say, "Thank you for your business. I hope you come by soon."
Because he's a shithead. Okay, cool.
I very much doubt that will be happening. Have a wonderful day.
You
piece
get
of
the
shit.
distinct impression of, "Fucking translator, you stole my business."
I don't know. An amulet of tongues for 550. I don't feel like that's too overpriced.
No, it's not.
It's not, but I don't think any of us actually have that amount of money.
Yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not overpriced, but it is a fairly in-demand item.
Oh, yeah,
I
no.
mean,
It's like,
it is that-
wear
that
this
is an-
necklace and you can just talk to everyone.
Yep.
I need to borrow 540 gold.
Right?
Same.
Can you ask our tricksy cleric friend where the local loan sharks live?
No.
That is a very wise answer.
Scott will just mutter under her breath, "So glad Alistar is still on the ship. This could have been so bad."
Well, in the interim time, we are in need of contact with some of the leading religious personages here in the embassy lands.
Yes.
I know that's not your favorite field of action, Halistra, but
I do not mind. Nah. I do not mind the gods. I mind certain nosy stick their business in heads where they do not belong gods. Also, the gods of my people, because they are terrible, like my people are.
right then. Well, where would we go to find someone like that?
Looking around, is the city? I would imagine not, but it's worth asking. Is the city set up in a way that would be familiar to someone who grew up within a drow society of like, okay, here's the district where the temples probably are. Like, I know this is like a mix of a bunch of different Underdark races, so I get it if not.
Well, so here's the thing with that. Like, from what you've seen so far, there are parts of the city that are. There are essentially districts that more heavily are concentrated one group or another, and those districts tend to be set up more in line with the architectural and like city planning practices of those areas.
Mm-hmm.
And you could definitely navigate around the Drow district and probably find the relevant temples. However, those would be temples to Drow, probably almost exclusively to deities the Drow follow. With a slight chance of Rue, who's just like the god of the capital, or the god followed by people of the capital. But you could find temples in that district that way very easily.
Okay.
It's just a question of whether or not those are the temples you'd like to go to.
I mean, you have heard her express her opinion on Drow deities.
I have.
I will then try for an investigation roll, maybe, or religion, or
Sure.
whatever is appropriate for locating outside of.
Yeah.
And if we get lost, then fine, I'll go.
Religion or investigation, you can have advantage on this. If you would like to attempt the roll, you will have disadvantage, as this is. It's really hard when you have never been somewhere like this and you can't read anything.
Oh, look.
I'm going to follow our translator.
I am equally bad at both of them.
Huzzah!
I'm gonna try just because.
This'll be funny.
Disadvantage. That's a 5.
Scott, the easiest place to get a map you could read would probably be in this building.
Okay.
Alistra?
With advantage?
Well,
and
if everybody else is doing it. Yep, that's a 6.
Ragnar, the same observation occurs to you. If you want a map you can read, it's probably going to be here, because this seems to be where most of the tourist-related services are. Alistra, Aside from places specific to the drow deities, you can think of one place where you will definitely find a temple.
You're gonna say, "Don't." Oh no. Oh no.
If you go to wherever the bars and food are,
Oh.
there will definitely be a temple. It will probably be full of tieflings, but there will definitely be a temple. You can't really recall exactly what the deity is for or of, but you distinctly remember, like, the stereotype and the reality that one particular deity, mostly venerated by the tiefling areas. So yeah, if you go where the food is, you'll find a deity. It won't be Dotrix or one of the ones the drow follow, but that's with an 8. That's as good as you're gonna get.
Soldier.
Ragnar's gonna go buy a map.
Okay.
Do I go? Is there somebody around just selling things?
There's a few other stalls. None of the other ones have any signs in common.
Okay.
But if you ask Callistra, she can point you to the one that has his local maps.
All right. So yeah, Callistra, which one of these places would give us a diagram of the area? That's all.
That one.
Excellent. All right. Wait here, and he'll wander over.
She goes with.
He walks right up to the shopkeeper.
Yeah.
All right, now, sir, ma'am. I'm sorry. Is there obvious gender?
Not clear. Entirely covered by a click.
Excuse me. I would like to buy a map of the local area, either in Common, Dwarven, or Elvish. And before you say anything, I will pay a maximum of 5 gold pieces. What do you have?
The person looks at you and then in Undercommon says, "You'll need to repeat that in a language that is understood here." And then in very broken Common, "There is a translator stall down the way."
Yes, I am translator. Want to buy map, Dwarven, Common, or Elvish, 5 gold maximum price.
We have Elvish.
How much?
5 gold. You told me your maximum price.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't say any. I didn't. This is not my fault.
Nope. I hand over the 5 gold and I take my goddamn map.
Points, Elvish, 5 gold.
No. It is a very rough outline of the city, divided into several layers. Turns out the Underdark city goes underground. Who'd
What?
Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah. But yeah, it's got very basic landmarks. It has the tourism bureau marked. It has the essentially head government building marked, weaponsmiths, trade sellers.
All right.
Is there anything particular you are looking for?
He's looking for the most prominently placed temple.
Okay. Make me investigation with advantage this time.
Okay. Love a good map. That's a 17.
Nice.
Which beats the hell out of my crit fail.
Yes.
Yeah, with the 17, that's easy enough. Up near the central government building, there is a large temple to Rue. The Godex.
Of protection,
Godex
right?
Rue. That's what you know about them.
Well, found our next stop. Right here on the paper. He'll fold up the map, stick it in his pocket.
Where are we going?
We're going to the Godex's temple. I'm going to speak to Rue.
Which one?
Rue. Yeah, seems to be the most prominent divinity around.
We will likely not be speaking with Rue.
Probably not personally, but I'm pretty sure we'd be able to dig in a little bit, let him know what the Lady Yara told us about what's been going on, and hopefully get some guidance. Unless, of course, you'd rather stop back in at Adultrix shrine or something. Get our guidance that way.
No.
Didn't think
Alistar looks like he remembers something that he was told.
Which is pretty impressive considering we left him in
If
the
he's not here.
I imagine he wandered along with
He
when he
probably
heard
did.
that when he heard that they would not be responsible for people left on the ship.
Alistar, did you have something
Then
to
says
contribute?
something vague about the creation of a band.
Right, well, that's about as much sense as we're likely to get out of him in the near future. Let's be on our way.
Oh, hey, that's not very... And, yeah. Okay. So... You guys still pretending to know what you're doing?
Oh, yeah. I've got a map. I definitely know what I'm doing. I'm not pretending anymore.
You don't look like a tourist at all.
Yeah, it's
Deception
just
rolls.
following Ragnar as best as possible.
7. I am walking the lines on this map.
I got a 4.
I am in full-on navigator mode. I've got a piece of paper
she's
told me where to go.
try because he knows that looking like you don't know what you're doing in well, the city she's familiar with is death. So 16.
Not bad.
Nice.
She's like, she is motivated.
Yep. Okay. So Ragnar, you're about halfway to the temple when you feel a tap on your shoulder and sort of looking, you see someone in an alley giving you a, like, come here gesture.
No, keep walking.
Okay.
Who is
Fuck
looking-
that.
I think not.
Unless I didn't see it, which is totally fine.
Oh, yeah, you at least saw Ragnar look over.
Okay. Everything all
Ragnar
right?
will literally give the little sarcastic wave and just book the other way.
I look inside the alley.
Yeah. You see gnomish woman just cloak around her sides.
What?
I was coming to look for you.
Why?
Well, you're the ones that the prophecy's pointing to, or the ones looking into it, at the very least.
Eyes narrow. Who are you?
Old friend of Vistel, the one who gave you permission to get in here. Sitting at the gate, wondering if you're gonna get past. I told him, yes, I know who you are. Come on right in.
For reference, what language are we speaking in right now? Just so we know what the
Common,
stars.
though her common is very rushed to cover that it's not great.
You look up and Ragnar and Scott have disappeared.
I'm going to insight check.
Yep. Go ahead.
15? Eh?
She seems pretty honest. It's really
Okay.
not very common to see gnomes here, so that is a little weird, but
You will wait here. I will be back.
right on. See ya. Come on back by. I think that's right. Was that the right saying?
I don't know. Be silent now. I go. Going to turn and start heading, start trying to locate my now separated, not speaking the
Investigation.
language companion.
I have suddenly noticed that Halistra is not with us anymore. And there is swearing.
5.
Fortunately, that beats Ska's deception check.
Yay!
So you see a very lost-looking elf and just swearing coming from somewhere near her in the throng of the crowd. But it's swearing in Dwarvish that you recognize.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I walk over.
You said this was a dangerous city. What you go wandering off like that for? You trying to
I
get
did not
yourself knifed
wander
in an
off.
alley?
You ran off. I stayed in the same place.
You're just lucky you found us before you got mugged and murdered.
I know how to survive in this city. But that is not the point. I did not wander off.
What would you
You
say is the
wandered
point?
off.
I'm following this map. I know exactly where we're going.
So, first of all, you are trusting a map made by anybody down here. So that is your first mistake. But regardless, in that alley is somebody who knows we are tied into the soul prophecy thing and looking into it, who is apparently a friend of the guy who was nailed to the rock in the ocean, and
Oh, Mr.
I'm correct on that, right?
No, I don't
Okay.
know if it mattered to Halistra, but the person who was nailed to the rock in the ocean was named Forever. The
Okay.
person he said he knew was named Ristel,
Ristel. Okay.
which
Was it
I
forever?
miss-
Or was
you
it
may
always?
remember as the name of the cleric of Dotrix that you spoke to before you came here.
Right.
Yes, no, Hilistra does not remember that, and it's a good thing. Otherwise, I would not be leading them back. Sorry, I heard the person who greeted you here or something to that effect, and thought, and that's probably Hilistra's mistake also. So we are not retconning anything.
Yep.
All right.
Huh. All right. And you sure they're not somebody who just knows a fancy story and is gonna try and slit our
No,
throats and take our purses?
Really, they are being honest, and if not, then we will kill them and take their purse.
Sounds like a fair trade. All right,
Works
we'll
for
follow
me.
you.
All right. And I head back.
All right. You head back over. The woman is in the alley, sort of tapping her foot, walking back and forth. Both of you notice that she is gnomish, and we'll start the conversation in gnomish before noticing that none of you. Never mind. Back to the common tongue then. Well,
Yes.
hell, let's get off the street then. And you're the one.
We're already in an alley with you. How much more off the street do you need to get?
Well, we're going back to my place, of course.
Good thing Alistar's not here. All right, we'll follow you.
She will sort of take you up some winding, crisscrossing stairs, sort of more up the hill of this larger island, and eventually you arrive at, it's essentially a small hole in the wall with a wooden door, and she'll swing the door open. Inside, there's some basic furniture, a few chairs, a table that looks like one of the legs was recently replaced, and just all over, in a small sort of kitchen fire. And all over on every surface, there are small little baubles, bits of twisted metal, rocks in various sizes that seem to be somehow sorted. and just like little bits of machinery.
Ragnar will
She'll-
look the entire place over very pointedly, not make a comment, and then just look at her. What's your name, ma?
Chris.
Chris. All right. Pleased to make your acquaintance. How do you know us?
Oh, well, thought your friend was going to tell you. I'm a friend of Vista. Well, she's that's me. You know things sometimes.
Wait.
And I've been...
Wait. She?
Well, she might not be the most
one
feminine, but she certainly is a woman.
Riz tells the one we met at the last port we left.
Who did we meet? I do not recall meeting anybody of worth or value at that port.
Oh, well,
Regardless,
then
being.
You're like my kind, not putting much stock in your fortune. I understand.
So, pleased to make your acquaintance, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about what we're into, then?
She'll just sort of plop herself up on on like a small shelving unit. Oh, make space for yourself, wherever. Just move the things aside. I can put it back later. So, I've been investigating, looking into and she says magical surges just in undercommon. Forms of power explosion. Words. It's not easy to keep track of all these languages and the
Explosions of magic.
Yeah, that thing. So there have been these surges of, as you know, the planes very close to each other, always overlapping. Lots of people come from and to, and that's how elves happen. That's how dwarves happen. That's how we happen. That's how Nazi and tieflings and everything happens, except for humans and tiny humans have things. They're weird. All of the planes very close together, but there have been random surges where the planes like bonk. And I have been investigating for my school and my research papers. And
Can I insight check?
sure,
Are we talking to a grad student who
That's an
just
11.
wants to research this stuff?
That's a 15.
that is not the impression you get. You
Okay.
more like someone who works for the Environmental Protection Agency or something.
Oh,
Like-
well, we know they're always the right people to call when there are
Well-
supernatural, otherworldly portals opening up. It worked so well in Ghostbusters.
Well, here's the question. Do they work for the EPA, or were they appointed head of the EPA? Because if they work for the EPA, they probably actually know what they're doing.
With an 11 insight, she seems honest. With a 15 insight, she seems honest. She seems like someone who, you're a dwarf, you're a little cute into this, though gnomes are a little bit different, was essentially assigned a field of study and has been measuring things related to that field.
Right.
And is now trying to very simply explain them to people who aren't specialists in this
Let
area.
me try and dumb this down for you.
With the 15, that is also what Hillistra gets.
Yeah.
All right, so there's
things have been bonking and creating these magic explosions. Those words were the ones. And that is bad. And I seek fortune to help me figure out why it is happening and make it stop. Because I know better than to mess with things without being sure that I will not explode the world. Because the exploded world is no longer a good world, or this era.
All
No,
right,
that's
I'm
wrong.
sort of following you so far. So,
But my
considering what...
destiny is not to intervene. It is to give guidance. It is to explain what you wish to know.
All right, well, We'd like to know why this is happening. We'd like to know if there's anything we can do about it. And if there is, we'd like to know where we need to go in order to do whatever it is we need to do.
So the powerful, big ones, divine. The divine are the gods, and the gods that are not quite gods but are instead mountains. And all of those have. Divine are a group. They are why this is happening. There are divine that it should not be, or will not be, but aren't quite not.
You sure
Well, that wasn't
this
confusing
person's
at all.
his name isn't Chromie? Okay, so there's some things in existence that need to either not be any longer or never have been in the first place?
Either not be any longer or be what they are. They need to either become gods or not be gods. They are Schrödinger right now. Is that the right phrase? Turn of phrase?
I've never heard of that gnome, but I believe you.
Know.
Is technical term.
Are these like the half
You need to
ascended or
determine
what?
if they are or not and make them there or not.
Schrödinger sounds like an elf. I look at Scott. Do you know a Schrödinger? You're an elf.
I haven't.
You're an elf too. You're an elf too.
Scott will look at Halistra and go, I'm only technically an elf.
Yeah, me too.
All right, Chris, couple of questions for you then. Does the term half ascended mean anything to you?
Yes, that is that they are Schrödinger. They are half ascended. They are in between divine and not divine, and that is bad. Minor divines are different. Angels are angels. They are a thing themselves. But a god who is not quite a god, but not quite not a god, that has the potential to be catastrophic and mess with the planes.
All right. And
Who is a god but not a god right now?
actually, that's what I'm getting ready to address. Have you ever heard of an archfey called Last Summer's Sun or a gnome by the name of Aurelie?
Yes, those terms sound like half ascended.
Or
Have-
a useless bard by the name of Alistair.
I do not know that one. There are many legends of bards, but none of them are of a bard who became a god, old foolishly.
If
Well,
anybody was going to
not
become
quite.
do anything foolishly, I think we have our man.
Oh, you speak of one of yours. I see. This is the party thing. I used to have a party too. They all spoke Gnomish. It was very nice.
All right. So, in your research, have you come across anything that would indicate the best way to deal with a half ascended?
Well, you find it and you kill it, or you find it and you find out what it is and you destroy the things that are pretending it is a god. Because once people stop pretending it is a god, it is no longer a god. It's no longer an issue. The problem is how many of them there are. And you need to stop them from being so many. Otherwise, the world is over, and that is bad. And I do not want the world to be over.
Fuck no.
No, that's quite reasonable. I think what I'm getting at then, to put a slightly more practical spin on things, is it as simple as finding one and cutting its head off?
If cutting its head off keeps it dead, sure.
Right, no, they did mention there were a few undead ones that there's anyway. So, with that in mind,
I can help you find one of them, but only one. There is only one that I know the readings well enough to tell you where it is.
fantastic. That was going to be my next question.
So, you know the 8 wings. You know there is a confederacy. Confederacy? That thing.
A conspiracy, aye.
No, the other thing. The alliance of group of people. Like the capital is, but not the capital.
Nation?
Yes.
Conglomeration.
There is a nation, and their gods have feathery wings and do the flying and the divine.
Alright.
In their dance, there is a disturbance. There is one of these half-ascended, or maybe two. It is a little hard to say. But I can tell you that if you go, and she pulls out maps that seem to have like marked little areas, color-coded, and numerical readings on them, and a lot of scribbles in Gnomish. If you go towards the capital, you need to get on the land, and then you go to the capital. There is one large concentrated surge there that is creating, and she will sort of point at other spots, discrepancies across their lands and territories. The Frost Wall keeps this out because the Frost Wall is a magical plane all its own in some ways.
That's intriguing and disturbing, both.
The other one, you go down from here, and you find it. It is also connected to these wings, which is where I first got the more solid readings. But if you go down, you will eventually find somewhere in the Drowlands
So there's one near the Confederacy's main city, and there's another down
in the Drowlands. It is being sustained by those who are using its power and the power of the wings and the financial support of the Confederacy to try and overthrow the current Drow monarchs. Which would be good, except for how they are doing the apocalypse with it.
Alright.
Then it is bad.
Sure.
Jeremy, I want to remind you, you forced this accent on me.
I'm enjoying every
doing great.
second of it.
So Ragnar will think for a minute.
Well, he does that. So let me see if I understand these correctly. And I don't want to sound like I am being, what is word? Well,
County, she'll say in Undercommon.
No. Paranoid, I believe is correct word.
Everyone in the city is. It's fine.
But that means actually that's a lie. I am being paranoid, but it also doesn't mean I'm wrong and I don't give shit. So, having just met you, and granted you've given no indication of your dishonesty at this point, you tell us that we need to go out and kill all these random people. Not random, I understand, but functionally...
At very least they are monsters. Or fae. They are not humanoid people. But yes.
When you say monsters, you mean not humanoid or terrible, horrible, evil people?
I mean the third meaning, where they are mangled aspects of reality. They are not evil gods, they're not necessarily any given alignment, but they are a cacophony against nature.
I believe the
They
word
are-
is an abomination.
Not
As-
always technically, but as a general
Right.
rule,
As,
yes.
as an abstract description, not necessarily as a
Mechanical
nomenclature
classification,
classification thereof. Yes. Right. What she's saying is they're very, very, very unpleasant, and the world would probably be better off if they were less in it.
Or just
I mean-
in it, and not gods at all.
I am hearing the second part of that for sure.
Something
There
tells
seems
me
to
that they
be-
would not be happy to not be gods, but just be here if they want
There's-
to be gods.
There seems to be a bit of verbal wiggle room being used on the unpleasant, terrible people aspect.
He's,
Well, it's not like
what
we've got
gods
their...
do you follow? I will ask. I do not judge. I myself follow fate itself and mostly research. There is no god of research.
That's okay.
It makes me sad.
That is okay. Everybody makes horrible, irreparable mistakes. You have made yours. It is fine. Anyways.
So you also follow Dotchix. Good to know.
There's a moment where she looks like the claws are about to come out. And I mean that in a literal fashion.
Scott will put her hand on your shoulder.
Alright, so we've got this half-ascended god thing that we need to stop, and according to you, we can either stop it directly or stop it by breaking down its support network that's sort of keeping it sustained. Yes?
There are a few of these. There's not just one, but yes,
Right, but you know specifically of one.
of two.
Of...
One down, one up.
Alright.
And what
Do
do
you
you
have-
get out of this?
Stability
Not having
of
the world explode. You are the slow one.
You are
No,
not.
no, just checking.
Alright, so, which one is closer to where we're sitting right now?
Probably down.
That would be down. Though down would be more things in your way. You would have to travel. It is
We
much
would have
further
to deal
go
with-
across the ocean, but there is less on the ocean in your way.
We would have to deal with my people, probably.
Almost certainly.
We would have to kill many of them. I have no problem with these.
We know. Yeah, that's been, yeah, no, we're familiar with, yeah, no, we can, I'm sure,
She
yeah.
hasn't expressed her desire to murder her family in
Meh.
5 minutes.
So there's two avenues we can take, either over land and sea, or by going underneath and traversing the caves. But both of them lead to the same place, more or less, is what you're saying, Chris.
Both of them need to one of these.
Different.
Ah,
We have to
alright.
do. If we do this, we have to do them both anyway.
I see. Alright. Well,
Yes, but there are probably many others I am not aware of. Two would not be a problem. The problem is how many.
right. Yes.
So, what
I'm look-
I am
I'm
They
hearing,
are all stuck in the in-between, and none have been decided.
Well, as long
What
as they're
I
in the
am-
in-between and not in the upside down, we'll be alright.
what? Oh God,
Oh,
you're a
that
terrible
is hard to
person,
do.
Jack. So what I am
Jack.
hearing is, if we go handle all the ones above, then we can allow Drow society to be overthrown.
Yes, probably. As long as you handle the other ones that throw. Just because they have a god on the side does not mean they will succeed. Not all gods always succeed, and the drow themselves have gods too.
Yes, I know.
I have thought of a good answer to your question about morality, though. Some gods are evil gods or good gods, and it is firm. They are a god of evil things. There is Drow god of torture. Drow god of torture is evil god.
Yes.
That is not a problem for those who follow this god, but the evil god, evil entity. There is also Drow, god of childbirth. Drow god of childbirth is pretty good. Unless you have a problem with Drow having children, in which case you may not like them. But morality-wise, from a good and evil mechanical standpoint, Drow god of childbirth is good aligned.
Okay.
There is Siktua, goddess of nature. Lots of the sea folk like her. She is not a good god or an evil god. She is a god of nature. Nature makes thorns and roses and makes horses and kills horses.
Right.
These are all gods. These are all... They do not have a personal choice. They are a manifestation of what they represent. These half-ascended, partial divine, they are similar. They might have once been human or something, or human seems odd, but they might have once been something else, but they are currently these in the process of becoming a manifestation, becoming a divine. So whether they are good or evil does not change what they are or what they are is doing. Though some of them may be good. Because balance is needed. It is likely that if the good ones become gods, evil gods will also pop up to counterpoint. Or if the good ones do not become gods, the evil ones will not pop up to counterpoint. Though that is a religious scholar thing. I only look at the energy surges and planar interaction.
Alright, so from the standpoint of the arcane sciences then, you're saying that the planes are currently inherently unstable because of the existence of these half-ascended.
Yes.
And if we either kill them or push them all the way across the edge to where they're fully ascended, either one of those options would help progress towards a more stable planar balance.
Yes.
Do it. All right. Well, that...
Though it would probably be much harder to make them gods. No one knows how to make a god. How do you make a god? Do you take flour and sugar? Do you need Eye of Newt? I do not know. No one knows.
All right. Well...
Damn it, you stole my joke before I could even say it.
It's in the actual script. It was not a hard joke to set up.
What you're saying is I was going for the low-hanging fruit. Understood.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so, Halister, your vote is that we head towards the Seraphic Confederacy first and give the Deeplands a chance to shake themselves out before we go sticking our nose down there?
I am of two minds on these. On the one hand, yes.
And on the other hand, less yes?
No.
Right. All right.
That was not the way that sentence intended to end, for the record. That's just how
But it was perfect. It was perfect.
On one hand, there is a certain level of, I will not lie, there is a certain level of hope that whatever happens does the appropriate, as you say, shake-ups, shake-upping. On the other hand, there is one thing that is great about the Drow. They hate each other. They all hate each other. And the scariest thing in the world I can imagine is them uniting on something.
For instance, a half-ascended being trying to overthrow their regime.
Indeed. Which maybe then they're like, hey, we work so well together, let's stop stabbing each other in the back and poisoning each other's babies, and let's start conquering.
Didn't they poison their own babies?
Well,
I have
yes,
not
they
been
poisoned
there in
the-
many
They
generations.
poisoned their own babies too.
So what you're saying is
and their daughters and their sisters and their brothers and everybody gets poisoned. Is what I'm saying.
So what you're saying is we might want to resolve the thing with the Underdark first, so that they can get back to their mutually assured destructive status quo.
So that they can get back to limiting their own power by the nature of their backstabby betrayalness. Yes. But on the other hand, the chance that they are completely overthrown and destroyed, there's value in that too. So that is why, on the one hand, I feel yes. On the other hand, I feel no.
What do you have to say about this other elf one?
Technically, elf.
Other technically elf one.
Scott will kind of look around for a moment, contemplate words, and then look at the gnome and say, okay, so killing a bunch of people so they don't become gods, because making them into gods is near impossible. I just have one question. Who's going to pay us and how much?
He will look.
Believe it
Were
or
you
not,
born dwarf?
No. I was born elf. I just wasn't raised that way.
believe it or not, she is serious.
There are bitches to be had, I suppose. I
I don't care about riches.
tell you what. If you
I just don't want to do things for free.
And I can measure that the planes are not dying anymore, I will give you 5,000 gold.
Yeah, how do I know you even have that amount of money?
Yeah, I do not want world to end, so here is 5 gold. There, you have been paid. Let us go.
Yeah.
Whichever way we go.
See, that's just not gonna cut it.
In that case, I take my 5 gold back.
Is your problem. My job is to make sure that you are aware of the end of the world and places you can go to stop it. I would like to intercede, but my fate says no, and I know better than to say no to my fate.
Here's a good... Yeah, fuck fate. Here is a good way to put it.
Saying
If
no
you
to
were-
fate is tripping over your own shoes. What do you want?
To spontaneously develop a very small localized silent spell. But, that being said, I cannot do that at the moment. So, here's a way to consider. If the world ends, you cannot get paid anymore.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. I just... We've done a lot without getting paid, and I've been through a lot in the past, 30 years.
I'm sure we will find very many valuable things along the way that is kind of payment. I don't know. I try
She'll
what
mutter
I
something
can.
under her breath in giant.
I try what I can. If none of these works, I have no options. I really don't care. I just
Scott, how sincere are you being? Out of curiosity.
About wanting money?
Yeah.
She's being sincere.
Okay. I can tell you take this seriously. What I can offer. I cannot offer you money for the. Like I tell you, I have 5,000 gold total. Like not everything. So I can give you that if you save the entire world and the planes are no longer, because then I am alive and I feel good and I am willing to give you lots of money for it. If you need gold now, I can introduce you to underground shadies, even for this city, but they are an honorable kind of shady. They will tell you you do things and you don't ask questions and they will pay you. That introduction is worth quite a bit. And then you will have enough money to keep going.
Does this gnome understand giant or no? Just questioning.
You have no idea.
No, because I'm more asking the should I say what she's mumbling to herself?
Let me know what you are saying.
All right, she's basically like mumbling under her breath in giant, like, I don't trust this crazy bitch, that sort of thing. Like,
Okay.
what would Anders do? That sort of thing. Like, just kind of,
All right. Well, as the commander of this expedition, captain of the Revenge, and both you are all general until you decide to take your leave of our company, we're going down in the Underdark. Thank you so much for your guidance. Any questions can be, of course, sent to me via the usual means. Ladies, as we were, let's go find a way downstairs.
very well.
Scott will
Ragnar
take
got
one last,
bored.
Scott will take one last look around of the room, trying to like memorize every inch of it and like memorize every inch of this girl's face. Just
Make me an investigation check.
Oh goody.
And that is where we're going to take a quick break.
With my 4.
Right. We will be back in a few.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Breakverse. We took a quick break, but we're back. Oh, God, that's a pun. So,
It's only a pun if you mean it and you reference it. So now it's a pun.
See, the last time I was trying to figure out how I could make, like, the text scroll be, like, just the on comes down and then grabs the break and takes that with it and then just sort of, you know.
That would have been awesome, but no, not so much.
Anyway.
all right. So,
Pack up,
I got
bitches,
a 4
we're going
on my
hiking.
investigation. I got a 4 on my
Ragnar
investigation.
has made a declaration and taken you out of her house. She'll wave you goodbye. Chris will wave you goodbye.
He will stop at the door, making sure he's making sure the other two have already left and turn back. We appreciate the information you provided for us. Is there any last bits of advice you might think are helpful or necessary before we begin this first hunt?
Don't die. Get your fortune told. Is always helpful.
Understood. Best of luck to you. Hopefully we'll see you again sometime. And he will close the door behind him and let Kat have Ska make that 4 on an investigation.
You do your best to memorize the interior of the space. Where are you going?
We're following Ragnar wherever he's going.
Alright, Alistra. We need an ingress into the Underdark.
Okay. I can probably do that. I just need to figure out where to get a start, and then once we're down there, I'm sure it will all come back to me, and we will have a successful trip and not die and smile.
Probably need to do some investigation as well to determine if anybody's heard rumors or reports of some surprisingly powerful force that's attempting to destabilize whatever governmental regime your people have functioning down there. Yes, half gods.
We can do that. I suppose this means we are going to go talk to my people here in the embassy.
Would probably be the easiest way to do it.
The good news is, to the best of my knowledge, I do not know anybody here. I do not know anybody who lives in the embassy, so probably nobody here knows me. And that would be good. Let us go talk to my
You navigate your way across the city towards the Drow districts. For Ragnar and actually for all of you, as you make your way from the sort of area that this gnome was living in over towards the what Helistra recognizes as the Drow areas, it becomes even darker. In other parts of the city, there were the occasional lamps because for some fucking reason, tieflings don't get dark vision.
I've always thought that was really weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. It is weird.
Like, it would be one thing if they got, like, produce flame as their cantrip or something, but they don't.
Don't they?
Nope, they get thaumaturgy.
No, that's fire. That is fire genasi. Never mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I have played both before. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I was just...
Yep.
Yeah. There are tieflings and those who can't see as well in low light, but as you get to the areas where there are drow, that is not a concern. So there is one light maybe every 4 or 5 blocks. The buildings also become more elegant. The marble becomes shined. Again, the aesthetic is dark colors, but intermittent reds and blues and greens, and all still dark in shade, intermingle with the dark stone grays and blacks of the buildings. Halistra, you recognize many familiar symbols. Scott, you're starting to recognize a few elven words around. Ragnar, same for you. Though nothing that gives you a clear indication of what anything is, seemingly just an accent to the Undercommon. Kind of the way in Japan you sometimes see a random English word in the middle of a sentence.
All right.
We use this loan word because it's more efficient than our own.
Or because it sounds fancy.
Yep.
English uses Latin in the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, nothing that quite tells you exactly what you're looking for. Halistra, as you look around, you can see large buildings to each of the 12 major houses, a government building, more actually somewhat large but very empty seeming buildings for most of the major houses. Only one of the houses has what actually looks like a functioning consulate, I guess would be the right term here, which seems to double as the royal family's line of sight into the capital. You can definitely feel eyes on you at all times, especially the two of you who are clearly not drow. And to illustrate you for being with people that are clearly not drow. Now, there would be eyes on you anyway, because you're a person walking around. But you just head straight for one of the smaller buildings where you see a signs indicating a travel service.
Wonderful.
As you head in, it's dark. It is entirely dark within. And there is a small table surrounded by a circular sort of seating couch, with a marbled dark crystal placed at the center of the table.
Okay.
The drow man sitting at the table looks up, gives you a small wave, and then in Undercommon, "Welcome to our establishment."
Thank you.
Please, have a seat.
I will move to sit down.
Two of you follow?
Nod to the two of them.
If Ragnar sits, then Ska will sit.
All right. You will. It is courageous to bring a not us one into this part of the city. There is much suspicion.
I am well used to, let's be honest, aren't we all used to being suspected by...
You need to worry less about that here from us. The houses may always stab each other in the back, and you may not be as... No one is ever really safe. By the way, Illustra, are you answering in common? Or...
At the moment, no.
Okay. Just so this is sort of lost on you two. You need to worry less about that here. We do. While we spy and stab each other, we are more cautious about those outside.
That is fair.
The other cities. We need the alliance, but we do not trust it. But they do not trust us either, especially when we bring with us outsiders.
Yeah.
You're looking for transit, I take it, if you come here.
Transit and information. Pardon me. Would it be okay if we were to switch these to a language those with me can speak?
You will.
Common would be best.
Is Elvish an option? I speak little common. You understand.
Yeah, that is fair. I know I look at I just look back. Elvish?
Hi.
Elvish.
If we must.
You will. Of course. So, you seek information and transit.
Information and transit, yes. We have been I look back at the other two really quick, then look. We have gotten, or I've become aware of rumors that, how best to put it?
We've been apprised that there
a
are
new player
forces at work. Aye.
Yeah, a new player in town, metaphoric town, who's making things interesting for the houses. Would you happen to know anything about that?
All power is vested in the houses, and I would never confess to knowing of other sources of influence that might be troubling to the houses, not publicly. But I could be persuaded to remember that things are not always that way, but that would be silly.
Silly or not, whether it is likely to happen or not, you have certainly heard these rumors. Am I incorrect?
I would never admit to such a thing.
Of course not.
What is it worth to you?
He looks back. I've got 10 gold to my name. So if you guys could pay...
I believe the necessary particulars of the situation are such that, since, of course, everyone in this room is clearly apprised of the security of the Drow Empire and its societal organization, it would be very unfortunate were these rumors to be given credence by isolated incidents that could be interpreted out of context, and quashing those incidents would be within the best interest of the security and continued function of the society as a whole. Would you not agree?
Yes, but trouble makes trouble.
Of course, but if
literally don't know what he just said.
What is it worth to you?
What is the question, I believe, is more, what is it worth to you? Because if, for instance, a group of individuals who are expendable and deniable assets showed up and were willing to volunteer with some
I see
minor
you're
considerations.
misunderstanding. I am not the government. I do not work for the crown.
Right.
Trouble makes trouble.
Like me.
I have information, but it must be worth something to you. I would not say I have such information as to be traitors to the crown, but information is information. What is
Well, of
worth?
course. Nobody wants to be traitors to the crown. Said with all the convincingness that she can ever muster when she is blatantly lying.
I want to know how much of this conversation Ska is
Yeah.
actually understanding.
I want you to make me a history roll, Ska.
History? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. There's not a languages skill.
That's an 8.
You're getting bits and pieces. He keeps saying the same thing about that you recognize as like money related. What is the cost? Something like that.
Okay.
And you kind of recognize bits and pieces. You're getting every second or third word, but you're probably not getting a lot of the more technical words in the context.
I can offer him 100 gold and a bard.
Do you? What do you say?
All right. I can offer you 75 gold pieces.
That is some, but is not much. You wish to know very special things, very secret things. I can help a little bit for that, but not much. Now, you mentioned you are able bodies, able to interfere and make hook trouble to help the crown. Able bodies are good.
All right.
I'm
So,
sorry. Clarify that for me again.
You have a job in mind that you'd be willing.
There are
Okay.
many... Sorry.
That's okay. Clarify that for me. Are you asking us to help the crown in this situation?
I am not the crown. I would
No,
help
you are not.
my business.
Yes. But does helping your business help the crown?
All Drow enterprises ultimately are in service of the
Of
crown.
course, of
If it
course, of
messes with
course,
the
of
other
course,
houses,
of course,
it also
of
helps the
course,
crown.
Of course, you want... Ah!
I think what he's getting at, Hillister, is that the rising tide lifts every vessel.
That makes even less sense than what he just said. Not what he just said. What he said makes sense, and it's like saying water is wet and air is foul and dank and full of mold spores. Anyway, talk. You are the talky people. Do the talky thing.
Able bodies are good. I can put able bodies to use. You help me, I can help you. If you offer 75 gold for this, I suspect you do not have money for transit.
You might not be entirely wrong with that.
So, I can arrange a situation where you find enough help that maybe such strange rumors as you have heard, I will give you more information on, and maybe you'll also be able to make your way while working for me down to areas where information would be useful.
Well, that's certainly a generous offer. And what would said employment comprise?
That is secret. Trade secret. I do not tell you till you agree.
I'll glance around.
In a general sense, what do you do?
In a general sense, I transport people down and up and through other lands to where our lands lay. Oh,
Well,
got this
if we're to be,
I am aware. I know.
we're
I
to
am
be guards and
not
escorts,
even
of course.
the littlest bit sorry. It
Alright.
is my understanding that the transporting of people as commerce, as in the people themselves being commerce,
is not allowed here.
not allowed here.
Yes, it is
There
not.
is no government official here. Is that any part of your business?
I transport people. It is my trade. But I am very careful. This city does not do well with the slaves. So no, I do not transport slaves here. But if you do not tell me that these ones are slaves, I do not care.
They are not. Believe me, if they were slaves, my life would be easier. But no, because fuck that.
Alright.
You get this kind of like look of, I could totally arrange that.
Well,
Also,
how much
just
of
to
that
be
bit
sure-
did Scott understand?
okay,
Definitely understood the word slaves. That seems to have been the concern raised.
Okay.
alright. So, we'll do your job for you. It'll be the three of us you see here, plus another friend of ours. In exchange, we'll expect the transit and the information.
That is reasonable. I like you. Efficient.
And what are we to call you if we're going to be working for you?
Son Jarlfrost Hardgrass. You can call me Jarl with the elven tongues.
Fair enough. Where do we meet and when?
I will give you time to collect and do anything you need done in the city. Arrive back here noon's tomorrow. I have shipments and peoples going out then.
Alright.
Right.
In that case, we'll see you tomorrow then.
I will see you tomorrow.
may
And
you not die before tomorrow.
may you not die before tomorrow, or either.
I really hope I just created an unofficial like aphorism and farewell among the drow, because that would be amazing.
I like it.
All right. So, you head out of that establishment and back into the dim, unlit streets.
As soon as we get outside, Scott just kind of looks at both of them and goes, okay, what just happened? Because I kind of got some of that, I think.
We go to
Are
job
we-
for transit and...
Are we transporting people?
No, absolutely not. I specifically asked whether that would be the case, because that is illegal here, first of all. Second of all, that is fucked up shit.
Okay.
And no.
well,
He
There
did
may
seem
be-
to think that if I wanted to make you essays, he would be willing to, but no, because fuck that shit.
well,
Okay, I'm kind of glad I didn't understand that bit, because...
we
He's
may
a
be...
drow. He's a terrible person.
We may be transporting people, but none of them are apparently in bondage, shall we say.
Or rather, he said,
I mean-
I don't really ask, but I don't transport slaves.
Right.
At least
People
not
maybe,
in-
slaves no.
not in involuntary bond.
Okay. Are we getting paid for this?
In information in transit, yes we are. You're not gonna starve to death. Relax.
It's not the point. Okay. If you trust it, I'll trust it. But only
It's-
because I trust you.
It's what we
And
have.
she's looking directly at Ragnar with that.
It's what we have
I-
right now.
I mean, I do not trust it, but
Well, of course
I-
not.
it
You
is-
wouldn't
it is our-
trust an employer as far as you can throw him in the building that he comes
It
with.
it is our best option at the moment, unfortunately.
Any port in a storm, as they say. Let's go find that half-elf and let him know that we need to be at a place tomorrow at noon. Which, of
Here's
course,
hoping
he'll
nothing's happened
interpret
to
as next week at midnight.
Really well.
Okay. As you are leaving this district, Talystra, roll me a perception check.
Oh, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. $24.
Damn.
Nice.
Wisdom.
As you look around, like I mentioned before, most of the buildings with the house's symbols on them, with one notable exception, are empty. They're not exactly in use. They're just fancy. They're ornamental. But you do notice, with enough time to sort of duck into the other side of the crowd, and hopefully not be seen. You notice a few people you vaguely recognize from your own past. Just acquaintances, but two short men walking by, talking to each other, and you're like, oh crap, I know those people.
Do they see me?
Make me a stealth roll.
Da, 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 da. 20.
They don't seem to. They seem pretty absorbed in their conversation.
I very, very quickly. Granted, hopefully this doesn't call attention to me. Beast shape into a mouse form and jump up on and climb up Ska onto her shoulder.
Okay. You're able, with a 20 stealth, I'll say you're able to do that without too much attention. Scott, there's a mouse on your shoulder.
Scott will look at the
I
mouse.
climbed
'cause
up you.
Yeah, I was like, she would have noticed that it was you, and so she's just kind of looking, scratch your head a little.
Looks over at those people, looks at you.
Can I see said people?
Yeah, you can see, again, everywhere here is a throng of people. It's very dense. But you do see two men, both seem to be drow, that walking with an air of confidence and notoriety, talking to each other, that Halistra seems to have indicated in mouse form.
Question.
Okay.
I know that I cannot cast spells in a beast form yet. Give me time. Can I use my innate racial abilities?
Depends on if those innate racial abilities are considered spells.
I mean, they don't require like the verbal somatic material stuff.
I'm going to say in this case, those are
So I can't throw up a little dancing light that says, keep going, act like everything's normal.
sure. I'll let you use your cantrip.
Okay. So she will really quick, just like right in front, like so where I can see it, and then she's pointing straight at the mouse is pointing straight ahead, and then let it vanish really quick. Trying to make it quick enough that the light doesn't attract anybody's attention.
Make me a sleight of hand roll, I guess.
Oh, great.
With, I assume, your mouse stats. But
yeah. Hold on.
as we all go, wait, what are the mouse's stats?
Pretty much. Hold on, just a second.
I enjoy that Jack got up to get a book. Like, I'm gonna look something up.
Well, because there's a thing.
Yep.
There is not mouse, but I'm assuming there is rat.
Rat is probably equivalent, and yes, there is a rat.
Well, all right. So this is not my. I know it says religion, but it is my +0 because apparently I lose 3 points of dexterity when I become a rat.
Okay.
All right, so here's the rules for Wild Shape.
7.
You can't cast spells, or your ability to speak or take any action that requires hands is limited to the capabilities of your beast form. Transforming doesn't break concentration or prevent you from taking actions that are part of a spell like Call Lightning that you've already cast. However, you retain the benefit of any features from your class, race, or other source and can use them if the new form is physically capable of doing so.
Yeah.
However, you can't use any of your special senses unless your new form also has the sense.
Right.
So...
Yeah.
And how does... Let me look at Drow really quick, just to make sure.
Yeah.
The
question is a mouse capable of dancing lights from a drow?
I would assume if it doesn't have a verbal
because it's a
or
basic...
material, then possibly.
For Drow, for that ability is on the basis of them being, for lack of a better term, magical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
yeah. The fuck? Where's Drow in D&D Beyond?
Drow magic says you know the dancing lights cantrip. So I assume the specifics for the cantrip.
Okay, then you would not be able to cast it.
Right, because it probably still has somatic.
I'll let
cantrip
it
has
happen
verbal.
this time. Just
okay.
Yeah.
Just
In the future, I may not allow that.
Because I rolled a 7 on my sleight of hand check, and so now they've noticed it.
Yeah,
Hey, that mouse just cast a spell.
It's a little... The challenge is, now there are 2 unattended non-drow in the drow district who aren't even of any race particularly common in the Underdark.
Oh.
There's a mountain dwarf, I think.
Yep.
And a wood elf.
A mountain dwarf who's definitely got more of an air of the ocean around him than an undergroundy kind of bit.
Mm-hmm.
And a wood elf who doesn't seem very elfish.
He's much more salt-stained than grubby.
Yeah. It's a dwarf and an elf in a drow community.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, well, you're not...
It's only slightly better than 2 elves in a drow community.
And the best part is neither of us speak the
community.
language.
It's still pretty bad, though. And, yeah.
Well,
so while
speak
you're
Elvish.
Well, you're trying to be subtle about this. There's a ton of people watching these 2 at any given time, especially now that they're not clearly with someone.
Oh, yeah, I should have thought of that. Oh, well.
That's all right. It's going to make for fun.
You don't think... No one necessarily notices the mouse cast a dancing light spell, but there's definitely a lot more eyes on you 2 now, including the eyes of those 2 who have stopped their conversation and looked over.
Scott will just look down at Ragnar. We should probably get back to the ship as quickly as possible.
Isn't that what we're doing?
Yes, but quicker, please.
Squeak. Squeak, squeak.
I don't think he wants to talk to you. Sure. I'll just magically grow my legs a couple feet longer and lengthen my stride. I'm walking as fast as I can.
Callistra seems to think that is... Doesn't seem to initially realize that's sarcasm.
And the funniest part is Scott's like,
I incite
I've
the
gotten
mouse.
faster.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Incite the mouse.
you've got 10 feet of speed on me, just as a regular individual.
Yes, but I since we got to level 5, I have actually gotten faster.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Rage walk.
Barbarians.
It's like, yeah, I got faster. You can get faster.
I've got a map. If you need to push ahead forward, go right ahead.
I'm not leaving you.
Yeah,
That would be
I'll
insane.
fine, but all right. And yeah, we'll just start booking it through the crowd
You
as
two
quick as we can.
continue sort of heading through the district as quickly as you can. You felt the eyes on you before, but now you're absolutely certain people are looking at you.
Well, yeah, because now we're being conspicuous.
Yeah.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
There is
If anybody
sort of
makes eye
inevitably
contact
a
with
throng
him-
of people constantly around you, which makes it very hard to keep an eye on threats. Make me perceptions with disadvantage.
Okay.
Oh,
My perception is still 20.
oh, not too bad. 16.
That's a 5.
Well, I
Or
am
not,
taller.
it's not
You
20.
also
My
have
perception is...
disadvantage on this one because you're not used to crowds.
Okay. I still have disadvantage. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You can speak the language, but these crowds are very specific to
26.
Yeah.
Hyper alert.
Yep.
Like, you're up high like me. You're paying close enough attention.
Ska and Hallistra, you're able to continue Sky, you're able to continue keeping the heading with Hallistra just keeping an eye out for you. Ragnar, even though you have the map, it's very hard to keep track of the map and that creeping sensation on the back of your neck that someone is watching you at all times. Many people are watching you at all times.
Anybody he makes eye contact with just gets a classic dwarven "fuck off, come at me, bro" kind of expression, and he's just walking.
And Scott is only walking as fast as
Oh,
Ragnar is walking.
Ragnar, what's your AC?
18.
Oh, God.
So that hits.
Oh, God.
Ragnar, as you're walking, you notice that your footsteps are no longer making a sound. And like as you go to speak, you notice that no words come out. And about at that point, Hallistra, as Ragnar seems to say something that says nothing, you notice one of the figures in the crowd just circle back around towards Ragnar.
Is this one of the
As
ones
soon
I'm
as
familiar with?
No, just those two seem to have moved on.
I'm
good.
still mobile, right?
Yeah, you're still mobile. You're
Okay.
essentially under the effect of a
The
silence spell,
Yeah.
but a melee spell attack silence spell.
I am leaping. I am jumping off of.
Well, if I'm not making any
Scar's
noise,
shoulder.
that axe is coming out, and I'm just gonna hold it.
Jumping off of Scar's shoulder.
You're
Am I
still in
still
a dense
making
crowd.
noise?
Huh?
Is okay.
Yeah. Off Scar's shoulder, mid jump, dropping back into my normal form.
Okay.
And I see the person that.
Yeah, you know which person passed by just a little too close to Ragnar and then is circling back.
I am casting. What's a good one to cast? And this is a fairly crowded area right now, correct?
Yeah, this is very crowded.
All right, so I can't.
AoEs would definitely hit more than one person.
Call lightning is a bad idea, then, is what you're saying.
Yep.
Unless you want to try and kill a whole bunch of random civilian drow, yeah.
Yeah, they're drow. No,
Yeah, let's not die, okay?
oh fuck it, let's just go. Oh shit, I don't have a whole person with her right now.
Was there
In
a
that
save
case-
associated with that silence or no?
No, it was a 2-hit,
Gotcha.
and it doesn't last very long. I'll tell you. But
We will just go simple. And since he wants to come closer, he can come closer
Thorn whip.
in a thorn whip.
okay, make your attack.
As
I try and figure out.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
I do not have advantage. Good. 16.
You strike out with your thorn whip, but unfortunately, he just ducks behind a few other people in the crowd, and
Did I hit someone else?
barely, though you don't manage to grapple and pull the wrong person. That would have been a natural 1.
I don't apologize.
Yeah. Person just seems to get out of the way.
That person is smart.
This seems not the most uncommon of occurrences. No one's batting too many eyes.
Is
Oh,
this
look.
when we roll initiative?
Drow are trying to kill each other. What a
Yeah,
shot.
this is when you roll initiative. Let's make sure the turn tracker's there. Let's make sure everyone's off of it. There you go.
We don't have any tokens on this page.
Oh,
Just go ahead. Yeah, either tokens or adders, either
I
way.
thought you had tokens on the main map. That is annoying. I didn't do that.
It's all right.
There you go.
Heyo!
Beautiful.
Ha!
Nicely done, Halistra.
Nice, Nat.
They did not
That
expect
was
to
very
mount
good.
the thorn whip.
I enjoy my 9. Ska has
Cool one.
no clue. Oh, okay. Ska has a little bit of a clue.
Okay. All right. Illustra, your turn again.
All right. Did he seem to have any reaction at this point, or was it just ducking back?
He just ducked back. With a natural 1, he's not seeming to prepare anything quite yet. He's a little
All right.
off guard. He saw the mouse, but he thought Ranger Companion.
Second verse, the same as the first, but only hopefully this time I roll better. 23?
Yep. You grapple him and pull him towards you.
And he takes
He's still 20 feet away, but
7 piercing damage because it was a 6 and a 1.
no, he's 10 feet away. Got it.
Yank, and I say, don't run away. Make this easy on yourself.
Okay. Ragnar, your turn.
So Ragnar says, and then pulls out his axe and just runs right at this guy.
Okay.
Because I
Yeah,
assume
cool.
he's still silenced.
That was cute.
27 to hit,
27 will hit.
17 damage,
Okay.
another 27 to hit, for another 17 damage. I chop off both his arms.
Nearly. Let me check the text on something because I think
You have disarmed him.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you so much.
I'm about to need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ragnar will feel a tiny bit bad if this is just a random bystander.
I mean, he
Just
tried
a
to do
tiny
something.
bit.
Wrong place, wrong time happens.
okay. Yeah, that does. When you take damage, you can use your reaction. He took damage, he can use his reaction.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So Ragnar, as you strike into this guy for the second time, you think you're gonna go through his arm, but like once you're impacting, your blade meets smoke and just this poof. He seems probably reappears somewhere else in the crowd.
Fucking warlocks.
Yeah, it eats. Okay. He'll just glare
Scott.
around.
Everyone still seems to just be moving around you. They don't seem all that bothered by the sudden violence.
They're not even doing like the pullback crowd clear thing. They're just like,
Well, like
keep
there's
moving.
just enough clearance for your axe to make it swings, but everyone's just sort of still moving in between.
Okay, so this is Drow, New York City.
It's Drow Metropolis.
Somebody's getting knifed on the sidewalk.
Drow
Guess
Marple,
I'll-
New York.
Yeah, yeah.
Either way.
Right. Just keep moving. Stay. Don't become collateral, but don't stop.
Yeah, they're busy. Scott,
Can I see this guy at all?
make me a perception check.
18.
With an 18, you can spot one or two people that might be him, but he essentially has full cover from the crowd.
Okay.
You think you know where he is, but like you can't see him anymore.
And then at that point, she's just gonna kind of put her hand, like on the hand axe that she has never used in battle, and just hold her action in case he comes back.
Okay.
Like if he attacks again, then she'll do something. But if she doesn't know where he went,
Not clearly. And that makes his turn. Helistra, you receive just a message. Hey, sorry, didn't know those were yours. Leaving now. Thought they were up for grabs.
Oh, that just made it worse.
wow.
You receive a message cantrip. Or
I'm looking around. Do I see where
perception.
I love the message cantrip so much.
22.
With a 22, yeah. You can see him. He's nearly a few blocks away by now because he can't dash, but he can use spells.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Is he surrounded by people right now?
Unfortunately, yes. This entire area is full of.
It's almost worth it.
You can make a wisdom save if you're trying to decide.
Urgh.
We do not fireball open areas.
Do not call lightning open area.
Actually, no, this is an important point. Because call lightning... No, never mind. I'm assuming I cannot see the air. Or the sky.
No, not in this area.
The other option.
There's always another option.
up to 30 feet long, up to 10 feet
Oh,
wide,
Jesus,
up to
no.
10 feet tall.
Fucking...
Well, we were on it. We were on a boat. I had a lot of water propelled boat. I had a lot of water spells prepared.
What are you gonna do?
Okay, so tidal wave specifically says you conjure up a wave of water that crashes down on an area with a range. The area can be up to 30 feet long, up to 10 feet wide, and up to 10 feet tall. Each creature in that area must make a dex saving throw. Can I make it just sized well enough to hit him?
I'm gonna say
It says it clearly indicates that it's variable. It's just whether, yeah.
I'm gonna say you will have to make a spellcasting roll to control it to that level, or you could choose to take a 5-foot area.
How many people would I hit in a 5-foot area? Probably.
If 4 to 8.
That is about 0 to 3 too many. All right, let's give
Fighting at city density.
All right, spellcasting check. 11?
With an 11, make the roll.
Actually, they have to make a dex save, I think, right?
Yeah, they do.
$20 damage.
Okay. So, with your DC being 16, he makes it with a natural 20, but that doesn't matter at this point. So, Helistra, you concentrate bringing this wave of water, and you want it to just catch him, so you're thinking it can kind of go up from the ground. Unfortunately, you misaim the size of up from the ground, and sort of scatter people. None of whom make their three people who do not make their saving throws, and are thrust to the side as he is caught up in this torrent of water, and his body splats down onto the pavement.
So you're saying I got a total of 4.
Got a total of 4, including the one you were hitting.
That's acceptable to Helistra.
One,
3
two
collateral.
of them look very disoriented. One of them gets up, calmly gets out a knife, and starts harvesting this guy's organs.
I have no problem with that. All right, let's go.
Turns out this is my kind of town. I assume the silence is gone now that guy's dead.
Yeah.
All right.
You can see that Ska's eyes are a little bit wide, and she'll look and go, "It's not mine. Can we go now?"
Ska. He wanted to apologize to me because he thought he thought you both were mine. He was intending to take and enslave.
Oh. Well, all right then. Fuck him. Let's go.
Exactly.
Drow plus moral quandaries usually equals, well, fuck him.
Ska's
More
now
or
just
less.
kind of sad that she didn't get to hit him at all.
Yep. All right. So you make your way out of the Drow part of town, back to the slightly more light rest of the town, and I assume towards your ship.
Yes. Where hopefully we will find Alistar still intact.
Hopefully.
As we wonder about how intact Alistar has managed to be, that is where we're going to end it for the night. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hello.